our topic on the WinForms educational application, refactoring and adding some functionality. And there was a task of the batch processing in this application and making the results to Excel. So let's proceed, and hopefully it will be interesting. So here we have the application from the previous podcast, and here I have just added one simple button. So I have added it as a prerequisite while I have set up this main display resolution to over to 200% because it's 4K, and it's not very suitable to add the button at this moment. So the designer works fine at 100 or 150, but not at the more of 200. So okay, and let's proceed just with code today. So what we're going to do, so thinking from the architecture, we have this on sort, which is the one action, but we need to automate all of these algorithms and with different sets of the data. So for example, on the sample collection of elements like 10,000, 20 and up to 50 maybe, or it can be done with more elements, and also we need to make this functionality exportable to the Excel. So that's why let's create our, let it be the first of all, let me create a method. So it will be the private, moment, yeah, it will be private async task, so which will be called just as the on batch sort, yeah, batch sort. So it's just the task which is going to be triggered by that button. Next, we are gonna do, yeah, so the Copilot always gives some suggestions, but we will stick with the simple approach. So, and of course we will have here the constructor of this form. So let me put it before our enum. So, and first of all we have this async void on sort, which is not very good, which does not look very good. And if we make this one as an async task, just a regular one, we probably will receive kind of an error. So let's rebuild. Yeah, so has our own return type, and then that's it. Yeah. So first of all, let's remove this one on click, and let's make the scenes just simple. So first of all, we have the button sort click, and let's make it not just this way, but let's make it this way. So as a delegate, and it will be on sort, just this. Okay, and we can easily remove these not anymore used arcs, and of course we are gonna to wait it and to make the delegate async. So that's possible, that's fine, and that's a good approach. Next, we are gonna do just the same for the batch sorting. So it will be just the async delegate, and of course it's completely fine to have the async task assigned to the button, so in the Windows forms. Next, let's create, yeah, so first of all, yes, so Copilot is a bit of crazy. Let's make the counter. So counter, we are assuming that we are starting from the 10,000 to, I think that it will be something like 50,000. So let's create the LM counter, which will be just 5. So 5 because it's from 1 till 5. Okay. Next, in the beginning of this function, we should disable the entire UI. So UI, we have the two buttons. We have the group box, which we have here. So the sorting type, and of course we have this text box with the output. So let's make it so button sort dot enabled equals dot button btn batch. Next it will equal the size of array dot enabled, and of course it will equal the sorting type dot enabled. So everything will be disabled just at the start of this function, and let's make just the same at the end, so it will be the equal to true. Okay. Next we are gonna do make some pre-processing, and we are gonna have all these radio buttons just as a list. So we can do that just by yeah, here we are querying just the checked one, but we can query just all the buttons, radio buttons. So with the sorting type, controls of type radio button, and call to list, because we will iterate this stuff in the cycle, and it is better way to have the list rather than enumerable with the multiple enumeration possible case. Next we are gonna have the button names for the export. So let's call the button names, and this one will be just a select statement from our controls. Okay, so let's rename this one just to buttons, so not to comment this code. Next we are gonna have the numbers, so which we are gonna use. So it will be the numbers, and we are gonna also use LNQ for that. So we are gonna use the enumerable dot range, but not from 0, from 1 till the element counter, and next we will select each of this value, but not this one. We are gonna select the I multiplied by 10,000. Yeah. So let's not make the magic numbers. Let's make it just a step. It will be 10,000, and here we are multiplying just by step. So because the magic counters is the bad pattern, so it can be called magic counters, magic numbers, and so on. So that's the we're talking about the just one stuff. Next we are going to create the results table. So it will be results table, and it will be just an array of. So we are creating the new long array just because we have this elapsed milliseconds just as long. So we are not gonna convert it at the runtime. So let's make it just as the result type. And next we are gonna have the this one does suggest something, but let's not stick with the copilot. Let's make it by our hands. So it will be the first cycle on the buttons count. So, and here we are gonna check the button. So because we will run this function, this one on sort, and of course we need to update the UI manually. So that's why I'm going to have the button checked true, and the inner cycle just like this. So but not, it's a bit it's a bit overcomplicated, I think. So let's have this one, but yeah, so first of all we need size of array value. Yeah, so let it be this way. Yeah, but here we are gonna to have this one, so let it be the, yeah, and this one is not very correct, so let's specify by the lm counter. So because we have the inner loop from the one, so and when the value will be while the value will be less or equal just to this lm counter, which is 5. So okay, and next we are gonna, yeah, so to have the size of array, so it's a numeric up down, so we will change this value. And next we are gonna do yeah, so this one is not needed at all. Next we are gonna to retrieve this elapsed milliseconds, so that is completely not good. But let's update this task. So we have the elapsed milliseconds, and that's why we are gonna to return just the stuff. So it will be a return, and we are gonna to return this stopwatch dot elapsed milliseconds. And of course we are gonna to change this task to the task of loan, and the results table of this one, so it will be just -1 dot I will be the array, will be the onsort function, so the result of this task. Yeah, so it's completely fine. Let's make, of course, it's var. Yeah, so that is for the result generating function. So next we are gonna do have the functionality regarding the Excel. So of course we will not write the whole logic of the Excel export from the scratch. So that's why we are gonna to use the EPP Plus package. So this one. So we're gonna to install it, and it's a powerful tool for the Excel export and import from the Excel. So we have installed it, and let's use this package. So it will be using and the resource will be package will equal the new Excel package. Cell, not the address, but the package. Yeah, just here. Next we are gonna to create the Excel sheet for our results. So it will be the sheet. It will be the worksheets add, and let it be results. Okay. Next we are gonna to write the headers. So the headers of the results table. So we are gonna to have these values from the button names. So it's just these names from the designer. So let me show me. So it's, yeah, so these names will be added to the as the header values. So here we're gonna do just, yeah, one statement, so that's fine. Next we are gonna to write the remaining data for to this Excel. So we can do it just by the also the for loop, and starting from 1. So let me call it, yeah, not I, but it will be the row. So, and row number should be less, yeah, so less than this value. So the value is of course this one. So yeah, that's not 5, but the lm counter, yeah. Why it's not lm counter, so it's less than the lm counter, and of course we are incrementing it. Next we are gonna to populate the data per cell, so it will be the sheet.cells row plus 2 and dot 1. So because this the EPP plus starts the enumeration just from the 1, so not from 0. That's why we are going to use this approach. So cells row column value, and it will be equal to these element numbers. So element numbers we have as the list of our actual numbers. Next, I'm gonna also to have the inner loop when we will write these values just to the table. So let's do it just this way. So, and that's the data population. So it's just the table, but we have one more interesting thing. So we are gonna to just use such thing as chart, and we are gonna to import this one, and we are going to have the line chart for this one. So let it be the results chart. Yeah. And we are going to have this chart for our results. So next we are going to have the loop for that. So, and so we are starting from 0 until the buttons dot count. So we will iterate just these buttons counter. So, and buttons count is of course the size of the algorithm's collection. And next we are gonna to have the series for this diagram. So it will be the chart series dot add. And let me put this way. So we have the series of the data, and we have the x series, which is just for the x axis. And next we are gonna to have this header. So header will be just the button names of the I, so with the index, and button names, as far as we remember, is the collection of the algorithm names. So that's completely fine. And yeah, we can of course use the variable type. Next we are gonna to have some settings of this chart. So it will be chart.title, .text. So yeah, let it be like this. So certain algorithms test results. Next we are gonna to have the position of this chart, but here we are starting from 0. Here we have the offset of 0, but the column will be just the buttons or button names dot count plus 1, because we are not gonna to overlap the table which we are gonna to insert in this file. So it will be just on a bit right after this table. So just this way. Next we are gonna to have the chart size. Let it be the 800 to 600, and next of course we are gonna just to save this file. So, and it can be done with the await package save as async, and here we have the new file info. So we are creating the new file info just for the, let me call it the test results. Yeah, test results of this test. So, and of course after everything that, we are gonna to enable our UI. So, and of course, let's not do the bad code, and of course let's extract this one to the method which will be called to Excel export. Yeah, so here we are waiting this method, and of course as a parameters we can have just as read-only lists. So because if we are not gonna to use the lists just at the list only functionality, so some methods require strictly a list. So we should stick with the generics in the method parameters. And of course we are gonna to have the using declaration instead of using block, because this using declaration will be available just till the end of this method, so that's completely fine. So in this way we have simplified our code and broke down the large method to the two smaller ones. And of course let's run this and see the results. So here we have our functionalities, so let's sort like a manual way. Okay, so everything's fine, but let's do the batch run. So we'll press this button, and yeah, so our run is in process. So we have the GNOME sorting, we have the so but we have probably one error, so let's run it in the debug, and probably not everything is completely fine. So okay, let's debug it. Let's run. Yeah. Accessed from the other thread. Very interesting. So let me rerun it. Yeah. But why it's happening just in the debug mode? So let's, very interesting. So, but we have this case in the debug mode, it's not completely fine. So let's fix it, because it's not very good, because it's a sign of not very good code just when the release mode is fine, and in the debug mode we have something not very nice at all. So yeah, one moment. So we are gonna to use kind of so I have previously searched for the issue, so let me try the solution. So the solution is when we are using the UI control from the other thread, we can use the invoke method. So just like this, and we're gonna to make but invoke, but not the we are gonna to just this way, and let's try this UI safe way. So for debugging, so it's fine. Okay, but we have so we have disposed. Okay, but that's not how it can be simplified. And very interesting. Very interesting. So let's try this one and see if it's okay for the UI. So it seems to be okay, but it seems to start not from the 10,000 but from the so probably we have the some kind of miss with these element numbers. So let me examine one more time. So we have the numerable range here, and we are gonna to select this one, okay. And next we are starting from the 1 till the buttons count, and next we are starting from 1 till the elements count. So that's okay. And yeah, so size of array will be the element numbers dot. Let me first of all here specify the it will be probably it should be fine. And next, let's rename it because it's a bit of idiot. So where is the error? Very interesting. So let's run it one more time. So from 1 we are gonna to element numbers. Yeah, and yeah, probably here we have the case because let it be just this way because we are missing the first one. Yeah, so probably that's it. So, but in the release mode it should be faster, I think. So yeah, and still we have this thing. So cross-thread operation is not valid because it's accessed. Yeah, so probably these errors are kind of tricky just because we do not see this error. So let me show this batch run in the release mode. So of course it runs faster and probably it does not have these errors. So okay, we are doing all the stuff and we do not see the errors, but we have these errors in the debug mode, and that's not very nice because if this error for example will be maybe a system critical, and we will not see this error just in the release mode, but of course it will be the case for our application design. So that's why let's maximum. So we are gonna, so probably let's finish this run, but of course we need to here let's set a breakpoint not to lose that scene, and of course let's use the same approach. So for the invoke, so let's invoke and so invoke, okay. So we need to specify the delegate here. So it will be the delegate of this scene, just this way. So here we obviously need the delegate because we have not the method but a statement. So that's why this construction is required. Okay, one more debug step. So because the good code should run even in the debug mode without any errors. So, and that's very bad if we have something like that. So let's finish for all our algorithms to run, and we see that the terms of memory, doesn't. Yeah, so the CPU graph is pretty low and the memory graph has raised a bit, but not very critical, so that's completely fine. So that's a good case regarding the debug mode. So even if your code does run correctly in the release mode, so don't be lazy and always check your functionality in the debug mode. Yeah. And here we have, yeah, this kind of thing. So that's, yeah, let's go with this licensing issue, because this package should be free from the non-commercial use, but probably we have to provide one more stuff here. So just this one, and let's make probably the final run of the application just to ensure that everything runs in the debug mode without any issues. So because I haven't seen this error in the release mode, so it's probably the debug only 1.2. So that's why the debug mode is very suitable and obligatory to use for your application before the bringing some functionality to the production. So everything looks good, and let's finally see the results. Of course, when we are doing these tests, the application is completely responsive, so no problems with the UI freeze and so on. So, and probably we should have added this scroll bar, but we will see the even better result in the Excel file. Okay, great. So everything has completed. Let's close this one and let's go to the, let's open the directory and let's look at our Excel file. So we have the test results, and let's open this one, and here we see that we have the results for the bunches of elements. So the quick sort is of course the winner. The next goes the shell sort, and the next winner is the merge sort, and after that there goes all other methods. And of course the bubble sort is kind of a loser here because it's pretty big numbers there. And of course we have this graph of the results, so that's it. So we were able not just to automate the execution of this application, but also to display, to make these results in the displayable view in the Excel. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you have any ideas or comments, you are free to message me, and I would really appreciate that. So, and have a nice day. Bye.